Let's talk about thread lift. Thread lift is a non-surgical cosmetic procedure. The thread lift works by inserting a specialized medical grade threads beneath the skin, and it helps in repositioning the sagging tissues of the face and the body. These threads have barbs or cones that anchor just below the tissue, creating an immediate lifting effect. Now, over a period of time, they basically tend to stimulate the collagen production and further enhancing the results. The improved appearances is maintained, making it a non-surgical alternative to any of the facelift procedure with very minimal of the downtime. Now, let's see who are the suitable candidates. The individual with mild to moderate sagging of the skin and who are looking for a non-surgical option for facelift or body rejuvenation, they are the good candidates. Generally, who has a good overall health and they have a realistic expectation and wish to address concerns such as sagging cheeks, jowls, brows, neck and so on. It's very important that you consult the doctor before you go for the procedure. Now let's see what are the types of the threads available. Broadly classified as PDO threads, PLLA thread, PCA threads and Silord threads, Aptos, these are the different types of threads. Now basically what are inside these are nothing but suture material that helps to stimulate the collagen inside the tissues. Now the choice of threads depending on the specific treatment goals and the practitioner's expertise. The thread lift typically lasts from 6 months to 1 year to 2 years, but the results can vary based on the individual factors and the type of thread that is used. Now whether a thread is worth, this depends on individual goals, the circumstances. It can provide a non-surgical option of course for the facial and the body rejuvenation with less downtime, but when we compare to that of a surgery, it does not equally stimulate similar to that of a facelift. Facelift is a longer lasting and of course it holds on for a quite long time. It's essential that we consult before we determine whether you are a facelift candidate or whether you are a thread lift candidate. The thread lift procedure, it depends on how much of your sagging is there and what all is your concern. Now let's go in detail about what are the steps involved in the procedure of the thread lift. Basically you will have a consultation, you will meet the qualified practitioner and you are going to explain the goals and we will determine what is exactly required, whether you are a suitable candidate or no. We do this procedure under local anesthesia and it will help you numb the entire area so that there will be a comfort during the procedure. The threads are then inserted after local anesthesia below the skin using a thin needle or a cannula. Now lifting and anchoraging or manipulating of threads is done after the thread is inserted and repositioning is done looking at the sagging of the tissue and the anchorage to them with the help of barbs and cones over it. After few months there is going to be a thread stimulating collagen production and that will help you give the enhancing results later. Now talking about dissolution, it depends on the thread and the type it is used. They gradually dissolve over a period of time. Now it depends on what thread we have used. So the recovery, we can definitely expect some amount of swelling, bruising, mild discomfort. This typically resolves within a week. So you would definitely like follow up. You may need to follow up appointments to assess the results or any other concern if required. The specifics can vary, depend upon type of thread used and the treatment area. Consult with the practitioner is very important. Now what are the post-care instructions after this procedure? Basically we ask them to avoid some exercises, facial manipulation for few days, cold compression to reduce the swelling if there is any. You need to follow a specific aftercare instruction which is provided by your doctor. Now avoiding excessive sun exposure and wearing a sunscreen is a must. Do not press, do not pick the threads if any, and usually please take the recommended medications and do come for the follow-up appointments and schedules if necessary. Now let's talk about the risk that is associated. Generally after any thread lift procedure you will have mild bruising, swelling. infection, a little bit of discomfort. In some cases, threads may also become visible and little bit of migration is also noticed, causing an uneven result, and there might be dimpling as well. All these are a very minimal risks associated. These are also very small minimal changes that you might observe for few days. To minimize these risks, it is very crucial that you definitely talk about all this before you go for the procedure. The recovery period of the thread lift procedure, it can vary from person to person, but typically it involves very few days and few weeks. The downtime is very less. Now during this time, you may experience a little bit of pain, bruising and swelling, which is expected. Most of them can resume to their normal work and activities within few days. But it is very important that you follow up if you go under any kind of risks that is associated or a complication that you come up.